Alright, so going to do another commentary today. This training session is going to start out with the lower body, and I did the pre-exhaustion like I typically do. 3 sets of 40 with a 185 on the leg press today. And I didn't get much footage of the first exercise that I did, which is just these stiff-legged Romanian-ish deadlift variation. But I just threw a set in there to show what I was doing. I did 4 sets of 12 reps with just 145. Kind of still rehabbing this low back issue that I've got. Not a big deal, but just taking it easy, taking it light. Then we moved on to safety squat bar squats. Once again, going pretty light. I just did 3 sets of 10 to 12-ish. On the last one, I think I did a couple more. Got a little bit different view than normally. I went to the side this time to check my depth and everything. Looks pretty good. Trying to get a little pause at the bottom, as you can tell right now. Yeah, I like doing them slow and controlled and paused. It seems to be working a little bit and not going too heavy, just keeping some minimal volume there. And I still do feel pretty sore. Got some DOMs a couple days after this when I'm recording this commentary right now, so it's doing something. I'll probably start going heavy a little bit once my calories get back up there again. But right now my focus is just getting the work in and trying to, I'll progress in weight a little bit from here on out. Like I said, once the calories get back up, I'll start going a little bit heavier. But my back's been a little off, and nothing serious, but just making sure I'm healthy. I've been dumb in the past and just pushed it way too quickly, and I'm gonna try and not do that right now. So this is another view. This is a different set. Same idea, going pretty slow, nice and tempoed. Little pause at the bottom. It was a long pause at the bottom, but same idea. And I've been playing around with the grip on this too. The main reason why I'm doing safety squat bar is just from the shoulder. If I do straight bar, I've done it a couple times in the past month or so, but I can feel it the next day, and I don't feel it in a good way. It's much more. It's tighter than I'd like it to be. So I'm working with the safety squat bar. I'll get back into the Duffalo bar squats coming up here in the next few months, and maybe work my way back into the straight bar. But the safety squat bar works plenty good, and I think I get a little more quad activation in it as well. But today is more of the first day of the week as far as lower body training goes, is more of a hamstring and glute dominant day anyways. That's why I start off the workout with the stiff-legged deadlifts. And then I moved on. I just did 2 sets of 4 plates on the leg press, get a little minimal volume on the leg press since I've already done my pre-exhaustion work on the leg press. Did 2 sets of 10 with 4 plates, like I said. This is the first set, and these felt pretty good. I mean, it's pretty light. It's only 4 plates, but I've neglected leg press quite a bit in the past when I was focusing more on powerlifting and just did squats and deadlifts, and that was my lower body day, maybe a couple hamstring curls. But like I said in the past, I'm focusing more on bodybuilding now, so I'm going to start doing a little bit extra volume, specifically on the leg press as well. So after the leg press, I moved on to some of my own little variation because I can't do them properly. Some glute ham raise. It's more of like a hyperextension-ish movement, and can't seem to get a proper setup on this. Maybe the foot placement's a little bit too far back, but I definitely feel this, and in a good way. So I'm gonna keep doing them and hopefully progress to where they actually look like a true glute ham raise. But the video kind of cut off there, and I did, like I said, I did 4 sets of 10 like that. Then I moved on to lying leg curls. Did 50 pounds for 2 sets of 10, and then a little mini drop set of 30 pounds for 15 reps. This was a superset on the hamstring curls, standing calf raise, which you're seeing right now, which I've recently thrown back into the mix since I neglected calves for like 5-6 years of training 100%. So those are still making me pretty sore since I've only been doing them a couple weeks now. Just increasing the reps a little bit. I started doing 3 sets of 10. Now I'm up to, last week I did 3 sets of 35 pounds again, but like 10 to 12ish reps, and this time I got 3 sets of 12. So I'll maybe work up till 3 sets of 15ish. Once again, nice, slow and controlled, tempoed, and after that maybe I'll throw on some extra weight. But I'm definitely going to see whatever hypertrophy I'm going to get from this, from just doing them, since I've been doing nothing. So I'm going to get the progress that I can get with the minimal fatigue that I can while I can. So that's the goal right there. And this was, well, it was kind of like a that was superset once again, the hamstring curls, calf raises, and hanging leg raises. Like I said in the last commentary, I throw these in quite often. They just make my low back feel good, and if I do them nice, slow, and controlled like everything else, even 15 reps feels pretty good. But I've done these quite frequently, so I'm up to 25 reps. Typically do 4 sets. On this day I just did 3 sets. So I had quite a bit of volume before that. Even though everything's pretty light right now, the volume still does accumulate over the session. And finally, since my quads, I mean, my whole lower body is a definite weak point, but specifically my quads are pretty small, so I've been throwing Spanish squats in at the end of each lower body session, in place of leg extensions, like I mentioned in the last commentary. You'll see the Spanish squats right here. I did no added weight this time, literally just burn out the quads. Did 3 sets of 15, no weight added. I do like these over leg extensions. They just feel like a more natural movement. And I've never really had pain in my knees from leg extensions, but many people do. But I saw these on a video, like I mentioned in the last commentary again, and threw them in, and I've liked them, and you get a gnarly pump from it. So I'm gonna keep working on these, and on my second more quad dominant lower body day, which is going to be tomorrow, I will add some weight to those. Probably going to go up to a 55-pound dumbbell. And right here, just getting a little bit of mini physique update in here. I threw this in because I've been really conscious about my food intake over the past month or so, but it was the Super Bowl, and I was going to a Super Bowl party, so I knew I was going to eat shit, and I did. So I figured I was probably going to be, not that I'm super lean in this, but this week it's going to catch up to me probably, because I'm not at the point where, well, I'm at the point where one big cheat meal definitely going to set me back, but I understand that going into it, and just got to do it sometimes. But I'll be good from here on out. But in this, I think I woke up at this morning, I was like 180.6, 180.2, somewhere around there. So low 180s, about the lowest body weight I've been since high school. So definitely going the right direction. I'm gonna work down to about 170, low 170s probably, and then start a super long and methodical lean mass phase. Try and gain as little fat as I can. So moving on here, we got upper body, which was on the following day. I threw this in this video. This is what I do pretty much every workout: lower body, upper body. If I'm doing push, pull, or legs, I always start with just super light. As you can see, it's barely anything on the stack, just 50 pounds, just for a bunch of reps on face pull. Just like I've mentioned, my shoulder's pretty fucked up, both of them, and I like to make sure they're nice and warm just before I do anything. And it's just a good way to get the blood pressure, pumping, and get your heart rate up a little bit. So then I moved on to the typical pre-exhaustion warm-up that I do for my upper body days, which is my first upper body day. I do these incline dumbbell presses up to 45 pounds for 3 sets of 35, which I'm pretty happy with. Definitely was a little more challenging than last week. Last week someone was using the 45s when I wanted to try them, so I went down in weight. I did 30 pounds for 3 sets of 50, which was challenging in its own right, but I'd like to keep progressing on these. And it's another thing that I like to do to make sure that I get plenty of warm up in. I'm nice and loose when I'm ready to go, and also it makes it so I can't push myself as much when I'm doing pressing movements because I'm super fatigued already. So I don't have to worry about screw it, I'll just throw on some extra weight and then end up hurting myself. So it's a good way to measure yourself in that means. Then we moved on to the first real movement of the day, which is these weighted pull-ups, and I got 45-pound plate for 4 sets of 10 reps on this day, and which I'm happy with. Last week I did not get 4 sets of 10. I got 4 sets of 10, 8, 9, 8, I think. So these felt pretty good, and my form is not perfect. You can see my knees are kipping a little bit, but as far as progression over the years go, my pull-ups have never been stronger. Probably has to do a little bit with the fact that I'm doing them more, but also because I've lost about 20, 25 pounds in the past couple of months. So there's just less weight that I'm moving. So I may not have gotten stronger in the true sense of the term, like lifting the most weight since my body weight is lower, but we'll take it as it comes, and these feel pretty good. This is my lighter pull-up day, higher reps, looking for 10 to 12 reps. I'm going to probably push 45 pounds until I can get 4 sets of 12. Hopefully the form gets even a little bit better. And then, so we're going to keep working with 45 pounds, and then we're going to up the weight and start again from the 8 to 12 rep range. And on my second day, which is my upper pull day, I do a little bit heavier on the weighted pull-ups. And I am looking for the 4, not really, but closer to the 4 to 6 rep range. And that's actually progressing even further. I feel really strong in that rep range. The 10 rep range is pretty challenging, and I've spoken to this with other people that I train with, and they find the same thing. The smaller rep range on the pull-ups is definitely easier to progress on, at least between me and them. So this is another set of the pull-ups. Changed up the bar, changed up the angle a little bit. I had to take the shirt off, get the good lighting, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. So this was another set of 10. Like I said, I did 4 sets of 10 on these weighted pull-ups today. And I'm going to throw in one more set as well. I had been just showing one set of each workout, of each exercise in the workout, but for my own purposes, I would like to show a couple more so I can, when I look back on this 6 months or a year from now, I can see how my movement was looking throughout the entire session as opposed to just one highlight best set. And I've got the time to do it. It doesn't bother me any. I just set up the camera and let it roll, so it doesn't really doesn't really make a difference to me, and I'd prefer to have more footage than less footage, because I'm finding that I'm going to try and make a little transformation video, and I don't have many videos from when I was younger, so this is good. Videos are just far superior to pictures as far as tracking progress, in my opinion, especially on the strength movements. So we're going to keep doing it, and that last rep was gross, but it was a RPE 11 there. But so then this is just another little bit. It had some half natty lighting here, so I had to take a full. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but whatever. I guess I had to take full advantage of the half natty lighting, and I am fairly happy with where I am with my physique right now. As far as I'm leaner than I've been almost ever, which once again is not very lean, but it is for me, and I'm excited to see how far I can take it. I'm not going to be crazy stage lean, but I think at 6 foot 170 with a moderate amount of muscle, it's not a bad body fat to be up at, and work my way back up. So then we moved on to bench press, went a little bit heavier than last week and a little fewer reps, but I'm still taking it super cautious, especially with the straight bar and rehabbing the shoulder. So I did just get one set of this, I believe, but we did 175 for 3 sets of 6 to 8. I believe this is 7, and as you can tell, it's pretty slow negative, and the concentric's moving a little. I mean, it's moving pretty slow. I'm not trying to move it that slow, but and I did a drop set with a 155 for another set of 8 as well at the end. And yeah, these are definitely, I mean, they feel good, and I've really never done the whole bodybuilding theme to my workouts, so this is something new for me, and I'm still adding my little flair to it. I'm doing movements that I like to do. It may not be optimal in the rep range and the exercise selection, but this is what I like to do, and these movements are fun, and things like, I mean, the bench press is a staple in anybody's workout, bodybuilding, powerlifting, of course, but like to add my own little flair to it, so I've been doing those super slow and tempoed. Then we moved on to one of my new favorite movements is the inverted bodyweight row. I like these once again because they keep a lot. Well, there's no strain on your low back, and since my low back is a little tweaked right now, it's very advantageous instead of doing a heavy T-bar row or something, which I had worked up pretty heavy recently, and I was just putting too much strain on my low back throughout the week between doing heavy bent over / T-bar rows, heavy dumbbell rows, and then doing heavy deadlifts and squats. So it was just a good idea to take it a little easy on my low back. I supersetted those inverted bodyweight rows with these dumbbell shoulder press, which felt super weak on this day. I did less reps than I did the week before, but that happens. I've been training even though I'm 21, I've been training consistently since I was 14, so I mean, as consistently as I have been able to with the injuries that I've received over the years, which surprisingly have not been lifting related, but nonetheless, the low back thing definitely is, but that actually stemmed from a work injury years ago, but that is beside the point. So on this, I did 4 sets of 8 to 12. I got 8 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps, and also I fucked up on the first set. The incline bench I don't think it was available at the time, so I did them seated without, just on that blue bench right there, which was a little bit more challenging. And in the past I had just done dumbbell overhead press standing, which I do like, but once again I'm focused a little bit more on trying to grow things. But you will see that I'm only doing one shoulder press throughout the week. It's just those 4 sets because I feel that now that strength has taken a little bit of a backseat, overhead pressing isn't as important since I'm hitting my anterior delts, benching and doing dips and doing my pre-exhaustion dumbbell pressing and everything else. So I've been focusing more on the medial delts, the rear delts, and my biceps for my upper body and my chest. Honestly, my chest is weaker than other body parts, but specifically my medial delts and my biceps I got to bring up the most, and then a tertiary body part to bring up would be the pecs. My fairly back dominant, I believe, and that goes to show my strength as well. I'm much stronger pulling than pushing, which I mean most people are, but I never did the whole only pressing and getting the noob years where you're only pressing and you can't see your back in the mirror, so it doesn't matter. I've always focused on back because deadlift was my favorite movement, is my favorite movement, and in order to deadlift heavy, you got to have strong lats. So these are this was a superset of the pec deck that was previously shown and the mag grip lat pull down. On this day I dropped the weight from the previous week on the pec deck because I wasn't happy with my form. The form was a little bit better than the last week. I did 100 pounds for 3 sets of 12, and on the close grip mag grip pull downs I did 160 for 15, which is 3 reps more than last week, and then I did 2 sets of 12, which is matching last week, so 3 reps stronger than the previous week here, which I'm not mad about. And the form stayed fairly true on these, even after quite a bit of volume previous in the session. And I will never not flex in front of that when I think that I look somewhat decent. So moving on, I did another superset, some supinated tricep push downs. I really like these with the spudding grips right there, and I supersetted this with a EZ bar cable curl. Went a little bit lighter on this again today. I guess that seems to be the theme throughout this, pretty much, other than the pull-ups and the bench, going lighter. But I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm not going to be stupid and hurt myself doing something dumb. So went a little bit lighter this week, and this was the day after the Super Bowl, and so I was fasted as well during this, but I still got a gnarly pump because I probably ate, I don't know how many thousands of calories the night of the Super Bowl. So got the bicep curls going on here. I did 100 pounds on the stack for 4 sets of 15, supersetted with the supinated tricep pushdowns. After these, I went on to do some dumbbell lateral raise, which is a cornerstone of my training block right now, since I'm once again trying to bring up the medial delts. And I also did some bent over dumbbell rear delt flies, and if you can see in that, my right bicep, which is the bicep that has the tattoo on it, still much smaller than my left, and we're a year out, but it's to be expected, and it may never look exactly the same, but it has come a long way, and when I make the transformation video, definitely be able to see that. So yeah, once again, I did some lateral raises. I did 4 sets. On this day, I did 2 sets of 20 pounds for 15 reps, and which I believe is this set, one of these sets right here, and then I did 2 sets with 15 pounds for 15 reps as well. And I then, like I said, did some bent over dumbbell flies, rear delt flies, which I did not record. I don't know why I didn't, but I will do that on the next training vlog. and getting a little extra flexing in here because I had a pump, and I hadn't had a pump in a long time since I ate relatively no carbs throughout the month of January when I was doing the silly carnivore diet. Um, and again, a little bit of flex because I had a pump, and I love having a pump, and it wasn't occurring often because it was pretty flat with no carbs. Um, so that's the physique. That was the workout. I'm excited to keep doing these. I think my commentary will get better throughout my attempts. And if you're watching, thank you. And future me, keep fucking working.